Hello my spiritual people, and welcome back for today's video. Today I have a really fun unboxing to share with you. I was sent a deck by one of you, which was super exciting, so thank you Elizabeth for sharing it with me. The deck that we're going to be taking a look at is Visions in the Liminal Space. This deck is by Bakara Wintner and Kaylee Christensen. Not good with names, so I do apologize. But Elizabeth was super sweet and sent me this deck. She saw that this was one of the ones that was on my wish list recently, and she had it and it didn't really work for her, so she passed it on to me, which was awesome. So I'm excited to unbox this and kind of share with you the cards, my thoughts on it, and then I thought we could do a fun little deck interview at the end just to kind of see what the overall energy of the deck is. And I feel like this would be a cool way for you if you were looking into this deck because you're trying to decide whether or not you want to add it to your collection. It would be a cool way to see if the deck's personality or the way that the deck likes to work with people would be a good match for you and what you're looking for. So without further ado, I'm going to flip you around and we're going to take a look at the deck together. All right, here we are, Visions from the Liminal Space. This is what the box looks like, and the shadows flee away. I love these clouds on here, super cute. Until the day breaks, more clouds, and then the author and artist are on the back, which is pretty cool. I love all these doodles inside this kind of wood tree trunk cutout here. That's very cool. It also looks like an eye. So lots going on here. This is a indie deck, which means it is independently produced, meaning that the people who created the deck ordered prints themselves and distribute them. So sometimes with indie decks we can expect, you know, things like this where the inside it's literally just a box, but I don't think that's a big deal. The outside of the box feels really lush. It's like a nice matte velvety feel almost, so nice. And I appreciate that it is one of this style boxes with, you know, the lid in the bottom rather than the tongue box. So moving on, this is what the card backs look like. It definitely feels like a deck of playing cards. It has that same type of texture, which you can see here, just like the playing card would. Very cool black and white. I believe the whole deck is black and white. Whoops, slippery. It comes with this little, I wouldn't exactly call it a guidebook, but it seems to be kind of little messages that go with the cards. It's not very long. It has this little blurb in the beginning, which I'll read to you real quick. It says, "Hello from inside the liminal space. By now you're likely familiar with this world of empty airports, quiet stadiums, darkened carnivals, and abandoned cities. The mirror realms, shadow selves, and back alleys of once slightly alternate dimensions are now the primary reality of the collective. The feeling is a vacant room you imagined full just before entering. The energy of another still lingering in the air. Somewhere you were meant to be, but long before or after you were meant to be there. You've always had a home here, and always will. Maybe you felt it in between the words of each chapter, on the exhale of each breath. Maybe you've been having visions here too. This is a waiting room of sorts. To be sure, your number is bound to be called soon. In the meantime, settle in and pull a card." It's a very interesting way of describing the liminal space. To my understanding, the liminal space is kind of when we're in the void. It's that space in between transitions where something ended and something's waiting to start, but you're just kind of in that like limbo phase and you're feeling a little lost and not sure where to move next. To me, that's what the liminal space is. So that was an interesting way to describe it. And then here we see inside the guidebook, these pages are quite glossy. They smell really interesting, but some of the cards have like a little tiny blurb. Others one have longer ramblings, and they appear to be in alphabetical order. Yeah, like these are really short. So enough about that. We'll set that aside, and let's take a look at the cards. So these are not in order, but I did make sure they were all upright. All right, first up we have Cosmic Fuckery, which already I'm down with. Life is beautiful. Life is meaningful. The High Road. I love this image. Very, very cool. An answer, but not the solution. That's interesting. Let it break. The wishbone. That's funny. Sparkle, sparkle, bitch. Love it. Hot tub's too hot. X marks the spot. I love these black and white images. These are so cool. I see that you are here, and I am glad. Ghosts, right up my alley. Reason to live juice. That's cute. Storm and Fury. This very much reminds me of that scene in The Wizard of Oz. Broke is the beginning. The Hell Train. Cord cutting. Interesting way of representing that. Carry your weather. Sky Daddy. Kill your darlings. I love the spaceship crashed. I think that's really cool with the little ghosts and like the tombstones. A lot in that card. Very cool. Infinity Mirror. Blood Sacrifice. Interesting. Down in the River. There and back again. Love Garden. Very cool. I'd love to sit in there. Tra-la-la. It's an odd one. Eureka. Seasons of the Witch. Hand in Hand. Strangely Perfect Timing. That's a good one. Hiding in Plain Sight. Parasitism? Interesting. The Fucking. Oh, that's cool. Until all are free, none are free. Protection. Oh, that's cool. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I like that they kind of put that in there. I'm assuming these are sigils. Very interesting. The Next Right Thing. My God has answered. Playing God. This reminds me of another card I get from another deck quite often. That's called Micromanaging the Universe. I'm guessing that that's kind of what they were getting at there. No Vacancy. Obsessed with this house. That is so cool. The Passing of Time. Miracle Mile. 1111. That's a good one to pull. The Back Rooms. Knock Knock Tick Tock. That's interesting. Because it's like a phone, but you have lots of but you have lots of like numbers on here that are usually seen as confirmations for things. Interesting. So maybe like synchronicities knocking, maybe. Rewritten history. Let your edges be liquid. Quiet desperation. They know not what they do. Body scan. Butterfly dreams. Dimensional shift. That's interesting. Maybe next time. I have a feeling I'm going to get this one a lot. Too funny. Water has memory with the snowflakes. That's really cool. Carefree timelessness. You came here to help turn off the lights. Interesting. Really digging the whole aliens watching a movie thing, though. Intention. Connect where thought goes, energy flows. I like that. Enough is a feast. Oh, that's interesting. Spell it out. Bring your own seat to the table. That's cool. Fortune favors the bold. You may never know. Tag your it. Beware nostalgia. Ain't that the truth? Believe nothing that you hear and only half of what you see. The Divine Mother. Acceptance is the answer. Show me your original face, the face you had before your parents were born. Different. Takes a curse to break a curse. Aggressively hydrate. Trust the process. Know thyself. Love and light. And then on the reverse we have shadow and hate, which is cool. Kind of that dual nature card. Burn the idols. Excelsior. Until the day breaks and the shadows flee away. Interesting. No kings but us. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Kneel before no one. Be groovy or leave, man. That's very interesting, and it's also the only card that's in a different orientation. And an eye for an eye. All right, this is a pretty hefty deck. We have quite a few cards here, which is not typical usually for an Oracle deck. I feel like most Oracle decks kind of are around that 50 mark, somewhere around there. But this, I believe, has 70-ish. I will have to look on the website and let you know, because none of that information is really on the guidebook or anything. But yeah, first impressions, I definitely think it's an interesting deck. I'm obsessed with the artwork. Some of the cards I'm like, hell yes, and some of them I'm kind of like, meh. They don't really resonate with me, but because there's so many cards in the deck, I feel like I'm not too worried about that. I also liked the fact that I could get something out of the card and the word without really needing to look at the guidebook, which is good because the guidebook is quite short. But I almost prefer that, especially when you're in this kind of like in-between stage, because sometimes we can get too wrapped up in seeking the answers outside of ourselves. So having short messages gives you that little outside guidance that you're looking for while still forcing you to kind of look at it yourself. So I'm definitely interested to work with this a little more. Let's do our deck interview together so that we can kind of learn more about the energy of the deck. First question is, what is your personality overall as a deck? Question 2, what readings do you excel at? Question 3, what are you here to teach us? Question 4, do you work well with others? So is this a deck that works well as kind of a clarifier or in tandem with another deck, or does it like to work by itself? That's kind of what that question touches on. And then question 5, what do you need us to know? So just kind of a nice way to round out this kind of impromptu mini reading. So let's get started. Take a deep breath, center yourself. Kind of think about in your mind what you want to know from this deck or about this deck. All right. What is your overall personality as a deck? What readings do you excel at? What kinds of readings do you excel at? We got a whole pile here, so lots of different types of readings. That's cool. These are slippery. What are you here to teach us? Oh, you can't really see those. My apologies. Do you work well with others? And what do we need to know? What do you need us to know? We have tag your it on the bottom of the deck. So what is your overall personality as a deck? You came here to help turn off the lights. This card definitely makes me think a little bit because you came here to help turn off the lights instead of on the lights, which is very interesting. So my interpretation of this would be that the deck's overall personality is to help you uncover and work through those underlying and hidden emotions or patterns or beliefs in your life, those things that we do keep in the dark and don't really want to confront or take notice of, kind of like, you know, the little kid thinks that the monsters come out at night because they can't see very clearly, and having the light on kind of keeps them at bay, if you will. So I feel like this deck is saying that its overall personality is to kind of unearth those dark things and shine a spotlight onto the dark, if that makes any sense. Very interesting. So what readings do you excel at? So there were several cards that flew out for this. We have Storm and Fury. So this makes me think of, you know, readings in the heart of when shit's going on, you know, like absolute chaos, life is in shambles. I don't know how to ground myself and figure out what to do, where to go, being all thrown around, which is interesting because some decks don't respond well to that kind of energy. They kind of want you to calm down and come at it from a more centered and grounded place before they can really give you useful advice. So I like that this deck is saying that this is something you can go to. This is a deck you can go to during these times. Again, this card is kind of along the same lines, until the day breaks and the shadows flee away. I feel like this is also kind of speaking to seeing you through a dark time until, you know, things get a little better. So I feel like this deck isn't really something that encourages you to reach for it when times are going good. However, I'm a little lost on a couple of these cards. Burning the idols could be instances where you need to look at things from a perspective of yourself and kind of tear away preconceived notions, or readings where you are trying to discern your own reflections and opinions from those that others have offered in your life, maybe past beliefs, or yeah, past beliefs, things like that. No kings but us is, I'm not quite sure what they're getting at with that, because the person's sitting out contemplating, looking at the stars. I'm guessing it has to do with your, maybe contemplating your value on the planet as a human and your kind of contribution. I am going to look at the guidebook for this one and Excelsior, because I'm not quite sure what those, the deck is trying to say through those, because I'm not quite connecting with those cards. So let's see what the book has to say. All right, no kings but us. You are the cumulative mighty efforts of your ancestors. You are their wish granted and dream realized. You are miraculous, you are ancient, and you are holy. You are the sum of fate, time, love, and luck, all conspiring together. Interesting. You are here to play and here to dance. So yeah, kind of what I thought. Maybe your purpose in life, what it all means. Let's look at Excelsior. Ever upward, the New York State motto. Interesting. That's all that card says. I guess the message there is that the readings it excels at is ones that would help you kind of look towards the light and bring you out of that dark space. So it really is taking you on quite the journey here, just based on these cards. I mean, you have support during the absolute storm and shit that life's throw with you. And the deck is saying, I'm here to stick with you until that light does come in and things start to take the upswing. Including burning away old thought patterns and beliefs, and really gaining a new perspective by shattering things. So I feel like this is a deck that you definitely, while you can come to it during times of turmoil, it's advised to approach it when you are ready to be confronted with things that you may not want to look at. But overall, it seems to have a positive tone, helping you kind of figure out your place in the world and what this whole, whatever experience it is that you're bringing to the plate, pattern, etc., means in the grand scheme of things for you. And really just the deck wants to encourage you to kind of see the more positive road, see the light in the dark, really uncover and transform your moment of turmoil or stagnant energy into something more beautiful. Moving on, what are you here to teach us? So kind of along with that, trusting the process, especially, when stuff doesn't go our way, just working through that kind of self-doubt and unknowingness of what's unfolding, and really trusting that even if we're in kind of a shitty spot at the moment, there's a meaning to it, right? There's a whole meaning to all of it. Do you work well with others? We got the Season of the Witch, but all of these little people are kind of dancing around the fire together. It seems like they're going through a period of transformation and enlightenment together. So I'm going to take that as a sign and a message that this deck would work well with your other decks, whether it be as a clarifier or a supporter for either tarot or oracle. I feel like this could work well on its own, but also great in a group setting. So there's that. And then last but not least, what do we need to know? Show me your original. So to me, this is about kind of connecting to your source energy, whatever you believe that is, God, angels, universe, higher self, anything above, in between, beyond, etc., and hand in hand. So I feel like the deck just really wants us to know that it's here to support us through whatever it is that we're going through at the time. Like, you're not alone, especially the universe. The universe has got your back, and this deck has got your back, and together they just want to help you work through whatever it is you're going through, and to be your ally. All right. I think this was an awesome little deck interview. I hope that you found that helpful. It was definitely insightful for me. This is something I like to do. Oops. Whoops. This is something I like to do for my decks personally. I don't always do it right when I get them, but eventually I do like to just do a little interview with them. And I'll do more personalized questions. But for a really rough overview and kind of just the deck presenting itself overall and what it has to offer us and what it would like to show us, I think it was a really fun experience to be able to share with you. And I hope that it helps deepen the deck walkthrough itself and give you a little more meat rather than just, you know, the specs and the images, just to kind of make a decision for yourself. Because this is an indie deck, I don't know how long it will be in print. So if you're feeling like this might be a deck for you, I would definitely check it out sooner rather than later. I'll leave it linked in the description box below for where you can purchase it. But yeah, so that is it for today's deck flip through for Visions in the Liminal Space. I hope that you guys enjoyed this and found this helpful. Let me know what you thought of the deck interview at the end, if that's something that you would like me to continue doing for future deck unboxings. It's definitely a little experiment, so I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Is there something that I didn't talk about that usually is important to you? I'd also love to hear about that. And any deck unboxing requests that you have are always welcome. So with all that being said, thank you so much for being here. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. It really helps out my channel, and share my video with a friend that you think would enjoy it. And with all that being said, I'll see you in my next one. Take care, guys. Bye!